So I started to shoot the video for taking the body panel off of this guy, and I realized something. It's really boring. Yeah, I made the realization that it is extremely boring and decided we're just going to go ahead and skip straight to the engine upgrades and framework. So without any further ado, she's naked. Just kidding. It's literally a vehicle. So let's go ahead and get started on seeing what else we need to do under the hood. All right, guys. So we are in fact down to just the frame. Let's start seeing what and all we actually need to replace or repair that is under the hood. So first things first, we're definitely going to want to replace these shocks. They're looking a little rusted, a little bit, honestly, they look a little bit bent on both sides here in the fronts. So we're going to be replacing these with some better shocks, but we're also going to be replacing the ones back here as well. Definitely, these are looking a little bit gnarly too, so we'll take care of these also. We also want to replace this old rusty dusty exhaust here, both pipe, and we might as well replace the manifold, because honestly I think we could get one that looks a little bit better given how we're planning to redo all of it. Of course, we're also going to want to sand down this body and repaint it with some new undercoat, or the underbody. Let's go ahead and open up this Airbox and see how she looks. Let's see. That's what I was afraid of. Well, now we get to pull out the bolt extractors and try to extract those bolts. Yay! Nice and easy. Cool. These should be all the ones covering the airbox. Let's take a good look at this airbox. Well, save for a little bit of some leaf matter, it really doesn't look all that bad actually. It's pretty good. So I think the airbox for the most part is fine, save for the screws we now have to replace. So airbox is A-OK. A little dirty, couple of things there. For the most part, A-OK. Which is good. That's one less part we actually would have to order. What I'm going to do is, for the screws that are still good, I'm going to put them in. Now I'll take some of the ones that I had to extract and keep those out. extracted. You were good. I'll just have to take a mental note or something for exactly how many there are, because I had to extract 3 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 3 out of 7 had to be extracted, which is fine. It's actually not bad. Now, here comes another fun one. The transmission. Let's take a look at that thing. Let's go ahead and bust into this transmission and see what we got going on. In theory, but it's probably on here so old it's not just gonna pop off. Double check for any extra bolts still. It might be holding her together. I don't see any. So what that means is that it is time to get the negotiator. All right, so now that we have acquired our mini negotiator, let's see if we might be able to pry this thing off. What I'm going to do first is knock that out the way. All right, so now I'm going to hook it in right here. Let's see if we can, there we go. It's starting to come off now. See, we didn't need the full-size negotiator, just the mini. There we go. It's green now. Yep, Kickstarter was what was holding it back, or holding it in. Gasket needs to be replaced. Belt, probably a good idea to just go ahead and replace that. Our clutch, here, let me get a better view here. So here is our variator. The weights are going to be right back here. We'll pull this off at a later date, but this right here is our belt. Looking, it looks all right, but definitely a little rough for wear. So we should probably replace that. Over here is our clutch and our clutch bell. Clutch bell looks all right for the most part. You know, a little rusted. Our pulley here, where the actual clutch wheel connects to and everything, that's looking real fucking rough. So definitely are gonna want to replace that probably. Then again, maybe after running it for a little while, that might clean itself off. We don't need our Kickstarter. This thing is actually holding us back from being able to pull this open. So we don't really need this part at all, in all honesty. You can't even, once the body is on, you can't even actually get to it. So we'll probably look into just outright the removal of this. And of course, at this point now, we definitely need to put a new gasket on here. Yeah, new gasket. So, this thing was a little crummy, very crumulous. But all in all, the transmission looks good. All in all, you know, a little bit here and there that I definitely would think about replacing, but not really a necessity per se. Now, another piece of work I did notice I am going to have to do is brake work. because when I opened up the reservoirs for the handles, this one was completely corroded to the point where right here is completely seized up. So that's the portion where it actually feeds the brake fluid into the brake lines to allow it to have pressure. Yeah, this is going to need to be replaced in its entirety. And this one, when I opened it up, was not much better. So I'm at least going to have to replace these, and we'll see if further along the brake lines if I'm going to have to do any other work. However, we have a decent amount that we actually can go ahead and get started on making a shopping list. Yay! So let's go ahead and get that done. Alright, let's get to sanding this thing. Ooh, it's gonna be a lot of work. You know what, while I'm waiting for parts, I might as well go ahead and sand the body too. This is a lot of work. Holy crap. Am I ever gonna get this thing done? I'm still waiting on parts. Let's get to paint.